Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Bandwidth for TWiT specials is provided by Cachefly at cachefly.com.
This TWiT Live special is brought to you by Slingbox, which can turn your iPad into a television. With the new iPad app from Slingbox, you can watch your home TV on your iPad anywhere you go. Check it out at slingbox.com.
Oh, here we go.
We're calling all possibilities.
Hey, guys. All right, this is the Google Samsung announcement happening from Hong Kong, the rescheduled announcement that was supposed to happen in San Diego. Poor Gina and I were supposed to be there, but oh well. But hey, I'm still happy that it's happening anyways.
Well, here's the plus side for us, the downside for them. They're all tired right now because it's morning.
Right.
It's true. Very, very, very true.
And we're wide awake.
All right, we're the All About Android crew. For those of you who don't know, I'm Eileen Rivera, and with me is Jason Howell, Ron Richards, and special guest, Gina Trapani, all the way from San Diego, California. You know her from This Week in Google. Oh, here we go.
We are stoked to have you, Gina. Thank you for joining us.
Two.
Thrilled to be here.
I love that they're on time.
On time, like to the dot. Wow.
All right. While they're getting that going, I guess just some background for those of you who are blog fiends. A lot of this seems to have been scooped already, so I'm hoping that there are still a few surprises from this announcement. But there's been a video walkthrough in the past couple hours. There have been leaked specs from NG Moko, I believe. Just a whole lot of details out there. But obviously, they have the official announcement going right now. I don't know. Is there anything that you haven't seen?
I feel like we could have played some sort of bingo and like, well, what do you think, is it going to be? Is it really going to be a 4.6-inch screen? Is it really going to be 1.2 gigahertz? I don't know.
We're touting a perfect combination here. This very wide-screen video.
It's very widescreen.
Yeah.
It is quite wide.
Yeah, it's like the giant stadium.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kim Titus.
Okay.
Kim Titus.
Kim Titus, there you go.
Okay. I'm going to clap anyways. Public Relations Director.
Welcome, everyone. I want to thank you for coming today. And I also would like to welcome those who are joining us around the world via webcast.
That's us.
Take a moment to imagine a collaboration where Samsung and Google join forces to forge a creation that capitalizes on the strengths of both companies.
They're really pushing the partnership.
Today, right now, we'll provide you with insight into the strategy and vision that brought these two world-class organizations together to create a truly inspirational product. Ladies and gentlemen, to start, it is my honor to introduce the president and head of mobile communications business, Samsung Electronics, Mr. J.K. Shin. J.K.?
Folks in the chat room putting out that background, really. It's not doing anybody any justice on these close-ups.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kim.
His face looked out of focus. Like, look, it looks so blurry.
Yeah.
We appreciate everyone's patience and understanding towards today's major product announcement. 2011 has been a very strong year for Android. Now, the Android platform is the most popular mobile platform in the world. This remarkable growth and achievement is possible thanks to Google's strong drive for innovation and deep understanding of mobile internet technology. Samsung has worked closely with Google to create our innovative Galaxy smartphones and tablets powered on the Android platform. Undoubtedly, our close alliance with Google has played a major role in Samsung becoming the number one Android
Apple keynotes where
Everything happens at the end.
We are very proud of this milestone.
It's a lot of back padding.
Harmony between the best hardware technology from Samsung and the most advanced software from Google creates the most compelling consumer experience in the mobile world. We are constantly moving forward, and that is why we are all here today. Today, Samsung and Google unveiled the first ice cream sandwich smartphone.
Here we
This
go.
new device is designed with the Samsung's best-in-class hardware, HD Super AMOLED, which builds upon the success of our premium trademark Super AMOLED technology.
Love me
Dual
some
core
Super
processor
AMOLED.
with unmatched performance, a unique and original curved design. And this new device is enabled with LTE technology for rapid speeds and instant connectivity. Depending on the market and consumer demand, we will also introduce an HSPA Plus version. All of this best-in-class hardware is well matched with Google's most advanced ice cream sandwich platform. We are defining a premium user experience for both smartphones and tablets. We are offering Google Plus experience for amazing photo taking and sharing. We are introducing advanced cloud-connected experiences and many more innovative features.
That's what I'm really hoping for.
It's a
is
powerful
more
example
kind
of Samsung and
build
Google's
up around
joint
some of these
commitment
apps like
of
Google
taking
Music.
giant
I'm really hoping that
steps
they kind of
to
surprise
be
us
always
with not only ice
ahead
cream
of the
sandwich, not only the device,
But some sort of
To
some
help me
kind of,
introduce this
some pumped up
important
apps that
milestone,
we use all the time.
I'd like
with
to
some
bring
new
up to the
features, especially
stage
Google Music.
my friend from Google.
But I will
Ladies
hold
and
my breath.
gentlemen, please welcome Andy Lubin.
Oh, here we go.
All right.
Come on, Andy. Let's bring the heat.
Do we have the, what would Andy say, John?
Oh, I know. Come on, Andy.
There it is. He's got the uniform.
Thanks,
I
everyone,
want some
and thank you
sandwich
for joining
hotness.
us here today.
That's right.
I'm very excited
hot, don't melt
to
it.
be announcing our next generation Nexus phone with Samsung, as well as Android 4.0 ice cream sandwich. We think of these things and we measure ourselves by three defining terms. The first one is simplicity. We want to make sure that our software is easy to use, intuitive to use. It almost predicts what the user wants to do next. We also want it to be beautiful. We want the user to actually feel good about using their cell phone. When they take it out of their pocket and they interact with it, we want them to put it back in their pocket feeling satisfied. And the third thing is we want to go beyond smart. We want to do better than what people are referring to as smartphones today. So we take all of the innovation that's available to us at Google, everything that we offer in cloud services, and make it available on your cell phone 24 hours a day. So it's like your cell phone is acting on your behalf because of the cloud services, even when it's in your pocket sitting idle. So that predictability, that intuition, that ability for the cell phone to do things that you have never imagined before is the essence of what we do in Android. And obviously the strategic partnership that we have with Samsung.
Well, there's your innovation there.
The engineering
Going
teams
beyond the
lived in
smartphone.
one building when we built this product. So we're just one big team. And I'm really excited to show you the result of that work. So without further ado, let's roll a video and see what it looks like.
Here we go.
Oh, sweet.
I know. This is so exciting.
I'm impressed that this has gotten as much kind of hype behind it. And,
Me
and
too.
much kind of ampedness. Like people are really genuinely very excited about this. Almost to kind of the Apple iPhone extreme, you know.
Well, the presentation it's not just a matter of here's the phone. We've got a cool video where the phone spins. Look at that. Look at
Okay.
that back. So that got that grip.
Shiny
Yeah.
and curved.
Curved.
Actually, not that curved.
No, you know, not as curved as
Everyone,
the kind of
We
press
are proud
photo
to
leading up
announce
to the announcement.
the
made it look-
Galaxy Nexus.
Chad, they want you to move the
Official name,
cursor.
Galaxy
Yeah, move the
Nexus.
cursor, Chad.
Kind of knew that, but there was always the Nexus Prime floating out there.
There we
I think a
go.
lot of people actually prefer the Nexus Prime name to the Galaxy Nexus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're both fine.
Here we go. The PR
Pose,
photos.
smile,
Pose.
smile,
PR photos.
It doesn't
Fake
look.
smiles.
Honestly, it doesn't look that big in their hands, but
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm really curious as to feel this phone because I've
Thank
been
you,
very.
Andy. Thank you, JK.
4.3 is my.
Now that you've all seen the
sweet
device
max,
for the first
but-
time, it's time to tell you what's inside
I like this dude.
that makes it great. Please
your
welcome
guy.
Kevin Packingham,
background makes
Senior
everybody
Vice
look
President,
digital.
Product
I know.
Innovation
It's like
at
Max Headroom.
Samsung
Yes.
Mobile, to step up to the stage now and give you some more detail about the Galaxy Nexus.
Please.
Kevin Packingham, Senior Vice President, coming up to the stage
Samsung.
from Samsung.
It's kind of hard to say Galaxy first. I'm so used to saying Nexus S or
Totally.
Nexus Y.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally.
This is an exciting time in the mobile industry.
This is exciting.
Device innovations launching at a remarkable pace. And Samsung is at the forefront. We got off to a great start last year with our Galaxy S smartphone, and we continue with great products like Nexus S, Galaxy S2, and the Tab series, building exceptional smartphones and tablet experiences for people around the world. That heritage of success and innovation gives us a great foundation to stand on. And I can tell you as a new guy on the team that there's a lot of pride and excitement about the direction Samsung is going from here. Samsung is now #1 manufacturer of Android-based smartphones in the world, which, as you know, are outselling every other platform on the market today. And it's based on that leadership that we are here presenting to you today, together with our partners from Google, this outstanding new smartphone, Galaxy Nexus. We're going to introduce several unique aspects about this device, and they can be summed up in 4 key areas: speed, screen, design, and OS.
It's good to break it down.
Yeah.
Oh, get the OS first.
Gina's like,
No, it's
we
fast.
know the hardware.
I want to hear about
First,
IPS.
let's talk about speed and Samsung's leadership in creating the world's fastest phones. Galaxy Nexus will be launching in both LTE and HSPA Plus versions, depending on the market locale and consumer demand. So wherever you are, we'll have you covered. Samsung is the only company that can offer end-to-end solutions to operators and people buying our devices. In the US, Samsung is the leader in LTE. We've seen a lot of success. Samsung introduced the first LTE phone, the first smartphone, and the first available LTE tablet, and the first LTE hotspot. Galaxy Nexus is next on our list of firsts, and we're proud to be able to introduce it to you here today. It is the first LTE Google smartphone featuring Android 4.0 ice cream sandwich. Why all the emphasis on speed? Well, it's no secret that we all want a faster smartphone. No one wants to wait for web pages to load or applications to open. When people watch video, which, by the way, they are doing in ever-increasing numbers and with a higher and higher usage, they don't want buffering.
Sprint's whole
They just want
marketing
it to work.
campaign is based around speed.
We know that, and our operators that we
clearly
partner
what
with
they're
around the world know it well, too. That's why we've been working closely with them, as they have aggressively built out their networks with the fastest possible speeds.
One fear up till
Now,
now
when
has been
Samsung
that it
says
would be
fast,
exclusive
we don't
to
just mean
Verizon.
fast
We kinda
compared to
know
last
that's
year's
not the
devices.
case.
Right.
We mean the
It's
fastest possible,
LTE and
on the fastest
HSPA
network.
Plus, so
It's
that's
a
good.
huge step
Yeah,
up.
it's not
Yeah.
a Verizon.
Yeah.
Both Galaxy Nexus versions, LTE and HSPA Plus,
Kinda like
have
this
been
dude's
developed
swagger.
around a 1.2
It's like
gigahertz
his
dual-core processor that flies,
He needs a little more
giving you a
energy
richer
for
and
me.
faster user experience,
Give
and a
that guy
very
more
quick,
coffee.
ultra-smooth
Kidding.
multitasking capability. The key point is that the hardware works in concert with the operating system. The two were designed to perform better together. I mean, this device is really going to let the
They're
beauty
talking about
of
1.2
Android
gigahertz
4.0
processor.
ice
I've
cream
also
sandwich
seen
shine.
reports that, and I'll be curious to see how this plays out, but that it's actually 1.5 that they're down.
That they're
Walking to 1.2.
Interesting.
So, if you're a little adventurous, it's possible.
Speaking of shining,
regardless,
probably the
you can,
first thing you'll notice when you pick up the
overclock it
Galaxy
after
Nexus
the fact.
is the screen.
Yeah.
For Samsung, the screen is critical because the experience begins and ends with the display. 80% of people who buy smartphones put display quality at the top of their list in terms of functional needs. And that is precisely the reason why we are rolling out high definition on our highly acclaimed Super AMOLED display on Galaxy Nexus. Super AMOLED is already recognized as the best display in the industry. It produces a color spectrum that exceeds even most televisions, making it the most colorful display on the market. It also has the industry's highest contrast ratio, which makes the colors pop and gives you the deepest blacks. We're talking a contrast ratio of 100,000 to 1, far exceeding any other display that you can find on the market today. And because the light source is organic, it is very energy efficient, meaning that the battery will take you even farther. The HD Super AMOLED takes the smartphone experience to a new level, and we're sure that people are going to be very enthusiastic about it. Now, when we introduced the Galaxy S with a 4-inch display, people loved it, and it was the talk of the industry. We upped the ante with a 4.3-inch
That's what I
and a
have.
We just kept
4.5-inch
going.
display on our Galaxy
man.
S2.
They said you
And
can't
the
go
feedback
further
we
than
got was amazing.
4.5. We did.
With Galaxy Nexus, we go not one, but
a
2 steps
4.65.
further, introducing our HD Super AMOLED on a 4.65-inch display, giving people an even bigger canvas to optimize their content web data, and video chat capabilities. Look at this screen. What I'm holding up is a spacious and gorgeous 16 by 9 HD display showing 1280 by 720 resolution. And the really beautiful thing about it is that Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich is specifically designed to work with this as its native resolution.
But ice cream sandwich.
What does that mean for our customers? Well, for starters, 16 by 9 is the ideal ratio for watching movies. It is also the same aspect ratio of a widescreen HD TV. It's like having a movie theater in your hands. 1280 by 720 resolution and a 4.65-inch display means that you'll see smooth and continuous text and graphics visible at any size.
I'd rather watch Netflix on a
ebook
tablet.
fans are going to love the text
How
clarity,
often do you watch that?
as well as people who do a lot of web surfing.
I do. I prop it up in my kitchen and I watch it there.
We believe that when you compare it with any other device with a 4-inch screen or greater, you won't find anything
phone works
as
at the
vivid.
gym.
And you're going to love the 1/100th of a millisecond response time and amazing performance. And by the way, that fast response time is another reason why those incredibly sharp HD videos are possible without motion blur or after images. Now, at Samsung, that's what we call an optimized display. It's what people want, and the HD Super AMOLED experience delivers. Put it together with the smoothness and innovation of Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich, and you've got something that no other manufacturer can compete with.
For right now.
At this moment.
For this week. For this 24-hour period.
Now let's talk design.
It's all us.
Design creates
Yes.
the emotional connection to the amazing technology at the heart of Galaxy Nexus. When we started the design process for Galaxy Nexus, we began with Samsung's design legacy and elevated it. This time, our design team took as inspiration the soft and natural curves of Magnolia, creating a product that looks really ergonomic. You'll recognize the curve back and contour display that we introduced
contour a lot.
for the first time.
That's one of my
the
favorite things
smartphone
about
with
my phone.
Nexus S.
About the
and we
Nexus
retained it
Yeah.
for
too.
Nexus.
Yeah.
It's very
But
subtle.
as you can
though.
see,
You'd
we've made
expect
it
it to be
even
this
slicker.
huge contour. You know, you
While
hardly
retaining
even
that
notice
rounded
actually
edge,
on a
giving it
daily
a softer,
basis, but
more
it
natural look and
definitely
feel.
makes it a little more.
And you can see
slick.
for yourselves the incredible thinness of the device. The HSPA Plus model is only
Look at that.
8.94 millimeters.
8.94.
The other aspect
So a
of
little
its
thicker
sleek
than
design is
the
bezel,
razor
which
that
comes
was
in
just
an
announced.
amazingly thin
today.
Still,
4.29 millimeters.
Well, that's pretty much
Why is
my
the bezel
phone.
important?
Yeah.
Well,
It's
for
about
one
the
thing,
same.
it accentuates the beauty of the screen and immerses you into the content you're seeing. Meaning you can view
Razor
content almost
7.1.
completely to the outer edges of
I
the
believe
device.
the Nexus at its
And by
fattest
keeping the
end
bezel
is
small,
11.5.
and this is really
because,
crucial.
you
You
know,
can
both
make
sides aren't
such
the
a
same,
huge
so-
screen fit comfortably in your hand or in your pocket. In other words, as you can see, we've made the screen
that Google
wider,
Apps button.
but the phone won't feel any bigger in your hand.
Seen that in a lot of the leaks.
Now, the numbers are only one side of the story. I'm sure many of you are wondering, how does it feel? How does it really feel when you hold it in your hands?
That's what I want to know.
The answer is completely natural. It feels incredible in the
the
hand.
answer.
You aren't holding a physical artifact. You're simply holding information, and it feels nearly weightless. And it doesn't matter whether you're holding it against the contour of your face to make a call or whether it's at rest in your pocket. The curved design feel makes it even more natural than any other phone. Ergonomics are also improved with a special Hyperskin backing on the battery cover. Hyperskin has a very soft texture, even softer than our previous version. It makes the phone slip resistant. Other design innovations include a unique buttonless design,
the same
hidden
as the-
notification
Pretty much the
LED
same.
that
Yeah, you can
accentuate
feel
the natural
the
design
Galaxy S2
without
has a
sacrificing
little bit of that.
functionality.
I'm not quite sure if they've
And remember,
updated it. But
anyone
Still
can claim a
kind of a
thin design or a
plasticky
long battery life when they're
kind
using
of
the prior
approach as
generation
opposed to, like,
technology.
Motorola's kind of
the
like
Galaxy
rubberized,
Nexus is achieving these
rugged
extraordinarily beautiful and thin designs while still using the fastest available networks.
But those buttons are on
Put it
the
all
phone.
together,
That's
what you've
not
got is
ICS.
just one beautiful package.
The bottom ones,
the
right?
bottom ones.
Yeah, the bottom ones.
Yeah.
There are a few other great new features and innovations you'll find on Galaxy Nexus that I want to introduce to you today. One of those is the outstanding 5-megapixel HD camera, which includes a zero shutter lag feature and 1080p full HD recording.
Zero
Shutter lag makes sure you don't miss anything. Just point and click. Less than a second, you've caught your subject.
Zero shutter
Works
lag,
really
if
well
that's
in low
true, is a
light,
big
too.
deal.
That's a huge-
The quality
I
of
mean,
zoom
and
in gives you
that's
much
worth
larger
it for
previews
me
and sharper
to
shots when you
sacrifice the
zoom.
megapixel. If
And
the
as I mentioned, you
shutter
can also capture
has
video
zero
in
lag,
full
man, that's
HD
And the
important.
low light,
quality.
they just talk about the low light
1080p.
shooting. That's the
Utilizing
one
the
thing that
camera's
drives me
built-in
crazy
video
about mine.
stabilization
It
feature
sucks at low light.
radically
Yeah,
reduce
totally.
shake in your images. In addition to that, you'll also find new hardware features like the barometer capability, enabling new application development opportunities. We've also included NFC in the Galaxy Nexus, which will not only facilitate a broad number of mobile payment options, but you'll also be able to use it to share things like contacts with a quick link to another device. We've also designed a special drop-in dock with a pogo pin that will let you quickly take advantage of all that great music or video content you've captured on the device.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's a little redesigned.
Now, I'm sure that a
Google
lot of you are
Music
wondering
view
when
right
and
there.
where we will launch the Galaxy Nexus. Starting in November, it will make its way to the market in the United States, Europe, and Asia, including China and Japan. We'll be launching it strategically with major global partners in each market. In Japan, it will launch with NTT Docomo.
Better get an
At
exact
Samsung,
date.
we had the consumer's voice.
I don't want a
in mind, so they
Motorola
wanted
sometime in
to plan
November
this phone.
answer.
November
I know,
3rd.
Date to point to.
I
November
talked a lot
3rd.
about Galaxy Nexus's speed, screen, and design, but now it's time to hear more about
I think
the
those
new
bottom buttons
Galaxy
aren't.
Nexus
I think
operating
those
system.
are on the screen.
Those are
Now,
on the screen.
Matthias
Yeah.
Duarte and Hugo Berra from Google will present the last, but certainly not least, piece of Galaxy Nexus, Ice Cream Sandwich.
Here we
Thank
go.
you, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Here we go, Gina.
Gina, what phone do you have right now?
Oh, is she frozen?
Wait, Gina's frozen. Either that or she's being very still.
Just concentrating.
Okay?
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Guy.
He's like an evangelist.
He looks like Leisure Suit Larry.
Now, it's hard to believe, but Android was born only 3 years ago. And during that time, it has been evolving at an absolutely furious, amazing rate. Only 6 months ago, we finished Honeycomb. And when we did, we took that opportunity to really sit back and think about the future of Android. Where do we want to be next year, 5 years, a decade from now? What do we want to stand for? In fact, we asked ourselves for the first time, what is the soul of Android? And to help answer that question, we went and we talked to people from all different walks of life who use all different devices and kinds of devices.
Looks like a completely different
We found out
Yeah.
that mobile technology is absolutely essential to
big
people's
digital-
lives, and that makes everybody in this room pretty happy.
Thankfully.
But we also found out that while people like Android, while people need Android, they didn't love Android. People know that Android is powerful, but sometimes they felt really frustrated when they couldn't figure out how to get at that power. So we saw this as an opportunity. We set out our goal to define how we want people to talk about Android.
They're taking a
We
very
created
Apple approach
three
to
design
loving the OS and
would guide
you know.
every choice we make in building the product. Android is enchanting. Something beautiful,
Android
seductive,
can
something
be
you can
enchanting.
really
That is
fall in
my
love with.
that is our title.
Android
Android
is
is
easy.
enchanting.
It simplifies every part of my life. And Android should make me feel powerful and smart.
Oh, who's that? Stuart Little? Oh,
Of course,
yeah.
these are
That's a
pretty
nice skit.
aspirational goals.
Stuart Smalley.
And in Ice Cream Sandwich, we're
That's what this
really
makes
only
it
taking
reminds
the
me of.
very first step. But sometimes that first step is the most important. So, how do we make Android enchanting? We start at the beginning with the words. Meet Roboto. It's a totally new typeface for Android.
Oh.
Modern yet approachable. And it was built from scratch for high definition, paper density displays. In fact, this entire presentation has been set in Roboto.
They're going after.
That was my first question. Is that
That
Roboto?
solid
That's actually a nice
typographic
typeface.
foundation
That is a really nice
set out to
typeface.
Give Android a total makeover. We wanted
I'm
to
a big
break
font
with the
guy.
past.
You got
It's
me.
nice.
Yeah.
You had me at
Tends to be
font.
You had
something
me at
that it's
font.
not.
There's
Fake
light,
wood
there's
and
bold,
fake
there's
crushed metal
condensed.
and plastic.
Speaking my
But
language.
we didn't want something intellectual and sterile where everything looks the same either. We wanted something relevant, emotional, and we looked to the latest trends in graphic design to inspire us. Television motion graphics, web design, and print. And we started by looking at every screen and thinking of it like a magazine layout. Not lists of text with icons where everything's the same, but big, bold pictures with giant headlines that just suck you right into the content. We wanted simple typographic layouts with plenty of white space, eliminating lines and boxes and unnecessary decoration. And we wanted to imbue everything with subtle animation and delightful flourishes to really make Android come alive. So
hard on
let's
the
see it in
design.
action.
Yep.
Good.
Android's totally new look
Android
starts
needed that.
right
4
here
iterations
on
in,
the lock
yeah.
screen.
There's.
Ooh, look at that.
That's
And
nice.
Very nice.
I love it. It makes me smile every time I see our new lock screen. The Roboto font sets the big, beautiful clock, and it's a perfect stage for your wallpaper, your content, that magazine about you. And speaking of wallpaper, in Ice Cream Sandwich, we've updated the live wallpaper as well, with some really rich, gorgeous, subtle animations.
Oh, it is.
This is my favorite, these animated beams of light rising up to the sky. And you can also see at the bottom the nice animated flourish inviting you to unlock the phone.
Oh, I see. It's inviting you. See a
Once
functional
you do
lock
that,
screen with camera.
you
That's
see
awesome.
one of the other major innovations where we've reinvented one of the basic ways you interact with a device. Galaxy Nexus has no buttons. So we've taken all that core navigation, including back and home, and made them part of the Android software UI. As you touch them,
There you go.
they light up with nice little animations. And more than just attractive, virtual buttons are more usable. Individual buttons hide when they don't do anything, and they rotate so that the icons are properly aligned.
See, some people
In fact,
don't like that.
we
in
hide them
Honeycomb. I actually
entirely when
really
you watch
like that.
videos.
I've
You
been
can
really
really
looking
take
forward to
advantage
the
of that
virtual
full
buttons,
HD screen.
just because I like it so much on Honeycomb.
So while redesigning Android, we touched every screen on the device. And we didn't just focus on how it looks, we spent just as much time on how Android works. We wanted to make everything simple, consistent, and fast. So we replaced boring button pressing presses with gestures. We made sure that you do the same thing, the same way, everywhere across all of Android. And we took all of the actions that you do every day and put them front and center. So one
the
of people's
consistency
favorite
is
parts of
important.
Android
We were
is
talking
their
about
home
that
screen.
at the Android
Your
Open
personal
about how, what
space.
does back do?
We already
and
talked
what does
about your
each
wallpaper.
function do, making them consistent across the application.
And you can swipe
That's
around
key.
to explore this space, left and right.
here
Each
are the
one of your home
widgets.
screens can be as minimal or as jam-packed as you want. And this gesture to navigate, the swiping left and right, is so satisfying that we're using it consistently across all of Android to flip between similar screens. Android's
They made
home
the
screen
Google
is
search
more than
widget
just a place to
transparent?
launch
Yep.
applications.
Yeah.
It's a home for widgets.
And they took away the
Widgets
search
are awesome
button
because
that you
they
normally
let you
find down in the
sync
navigation
your
because now you
without
have it
having
up
to go
there.
anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You can have your calendar, your email, your social circles. In Ice Cream Sandwich, we made them more beautiful. We made them more powerful by introducing
YouTube
scrolling and
widget
stacks.
is exactly
Our
how it's
main
Exactly
focus was making
Honeycomb.
them easy
I mean,
to
the
use.
inbox,
So
yeah.
we started by making them simple to find. We put them in the same place you keep the other stuff on your home screen, your apps. Now, in Ice Cream Sandwich, you'll see the
Sideways
same
scroll.
left and right swipe
Yes.
gesture to page through
Yep.
applications.
Oh, look at
Ooh,
that.
I like
It's like a
that.
At
slide
the top,
and
there's a
move
widgets
in.
Nice.
tab. So
See
it's
how
easy to
apps and
find.
widgets on the top?
And again, page through all your widgets.
So no more
Now, they're
up-down
really simple to
scroll through
add.
your apps
You just
list,
pick them up
sideways scroll, similar to what it
And
is.
drag
in
and drop it to the home screen you want.
Somebody wants to chat with him. Did you see
Best
that?
of all, widgets are now resizable. So you can get your home screen exactly the way you want
Very
it
nice.
in your space.
Yeah, and that's
Now
like
let's talk
a
about
feature
folders.
that is built
Folders
into
are
the
a
paid
powerful
version of
feature
Launcher
of
Pro. You know, so damn it.
That's what I was thinking.
Dead simple to use. Super simple to make.
Oh, he's
Again,
got
you just
Minecraft.
drag and drop one app on top of another.
Yep,
and
there's
adding
that
more
honeycomb. Oh,
just means you
adding
drop
groups.
more. They're super simple to organize as well.
Oh, very
Look
nice.
at
Once you
that.
have your folder the way you want it, you again use the same gesture,
Yep.
pick up, and move it around. And you can see the other icons scoot out of the way to make room for you. But the home screen is for more than just apps, and folders are for more than just apps as well. If you want to keep your favorite people at your fingertips,
Peeps.
you can make a folder of speed dial shortcuts.
Nice.
And speaking of keeping things at your fingertips, Ice Cream Sandwich also lets you customize your favorites tray at the bottom of the screen. You can even put folders in your favorites tray.
That's
So now
great.
my friends
Yep.
and my favorite apps are just one click away,
Again,
no
that's
matter
one of
which
the best
screen
things
I'm
of the
on.
various launcher apps is
Yeah,
being able to
exactly.
customize that. Yeah. Yep.
Once you have
So,
it, it's
yeah.
you can't
Android
go
has
back.
always
You
been
have to be
acclaimed
able to
for
put
the
whatever you
strength
want
of its
down there.
true multitasking system. You don't have to worry
So the
about which
question is, how
apps
does
are
Launcher
running
Pro
or how
also
much memory they're
innovate
using.
around this?
Well, yeah,
I
exactly.
think they
Super
will.
powerful. And
They'll-
we think
this'll
it's
just
not
push
just
them.
for power users.
I'm not going
So
to
we
give up
added
on
an icon
GoPro.
to open up your recent apps so that it's
You say
quick
that
to
now.
switch from anywhere. We show big, beautiful thumbnails so you immediately see what you're switching to.
Yeah,
Just
I don't know if I
because
like that.
Android can
I like the
handle
big
all of these
thumbnails.
apps doesn't mean that you always want to. Sometimes
thumbnails,
you
how do
want
you
to
mean?
focus on
This
doing
is what you
something
don't like on Honeycomb,
Yeah,
right?
exactly,
Yeah, I've heard you
exactly.
complain about this
Yeah.
before.
Flick, you can toss away any application that you're done
This is
with.
on the task switching. Like I don't need to see the calculator when I'm task
So
switching.
let's
Just
look
show me the
at
icon.
another fun thing
Yeah.
that you can use everywhere.
Yeah, it
One
almost
that a lot of you
requires
have
you
been
to
asking
do more to see everything that you have
Yep.
open as opposed
Give
to
me the
just
icon.
You
opening
see
a
this game
single
I've been
slate
playing,
page
and you all
with
see
everything.
my high
Yeah,
score.
you're right.
But anybody who didn't stay up to watch the live stream, there's no way I can brag to them, right? In Ice Cream Sandwich, I hold down power and volume down to capture a photo of any
Built-in
screen.
screen capture.
Oh my God.
After a fun little
It's something that Android's needed for
picture
a
is
while.
saved
my
to the
God.
gallery, ready to share.
Finally. Finally.
One of my
Dream
favorite
Gina.
features of
Tech
Android
writers rejoice.
system. From the beginning, Android has been designed to put you in control. In Ice Cream Sandwich, notifications are better than ever. They're more than just a list of icons and text. Applications have complete flexibility of what goes into them.
Wow.
You can see we've added big, beautiful images of the people you're talking to.
Kanye West.
In
had
Ice Cream
him in
Sandwich, we're
circles.
also introducing a music player control notification. So you can pause
put
and
that in
skip
there on
tracks without ever leaving an application, just by pulling down
wants us
your
to know.
notification. But not all notifications are created equal. If some notifications don't seem quite so important, you can toss them away with that same satisfying flick I showed you before.
Cool.
That way you
I
can
love
keep
that.
the other
Yeah,
more
totally.
important notifications to follow up on later.
Some of the ROMs that are out there allow you to do that with
I
that.
like
made
that
notifications
very
It's a
much.
really
also
hard thing to
faster
not
than ever before.
have when.
What if your
Yeah.
phone
I've been
buzzes in
using
your
this
pocket,
Nexus
or
S
if you
and it
pick it
doesn't
up
have
and see that the
and
LED is
It's been
pulsing?
hard to not have that again.
Well, right from the lock screen, I can peek
Yeah,
into my
CyanogenMod
notification
had it first, I believe. You're
and
right.
jump
I saw.
instantly to the one I care about.
Nice. Notifications on the lock screen.
Hey,
Well,
Larry.
and keep in mind, didn't
So,
CyanogenMod
while we're here in
this would
messaging,
have been
let's
before,
talk about text.
Uh,
Great text
he
input
started
is
working
just
there?
with
critical
Samsung,
for
yeah.
communications device.
but still, they were obviously
So we
watching.
gave the
Yeah.
keyboard a lot of love in Ice Cream Sandwich.
And this is
It's more
Ice Cream
accurate and more
Sandwich.
responsive, and it got a makeover as well. We improved error correction. The suggestion strip is easier and more accurate, with big targets for your most common substitutions. And finally, we added an inline spell checker. So with one tap, you can choose from multiple suggestions
That's cool.
or add new words that you may have just learned to your dictionary.
Very cool.
We improved cut, copy, and paste and made it
you.
consistent throughout all of Android. Just hold down on the word you want to enter text selection mode, and drag the handles
What it
to
is,
select
if
what
it's
you
in
want.
my mind, that's awesome.
Once you
to
have the
that,
text
by
you
way.
want, you can
But the
cut, copy, and
Android
paste it,
camera,
or
the
just
stu-
drag
or,
it.
keyboard, just always
And
feels
place
too
it where it
small
needs
for
to
me.
go.
Those buttons are so tiny. I
Yeah.
mean, granted, the area, the text where you push is not as
But
small as those little
Just
graphical
because we're
buttons.
texting
But
doesn't mean that the keyboard is the
I'm
best
very
way to write.
inaccurate with the keyboard, so I
One
hope
of the
this is
most popular
better.
ways to enter text on Android has always been our talk to type feature. You just press the microphone button on the keyboard and speak. In Ice Cream Sandwich, we're making this feature even better by making it instant. Hey man, I'd love to talk right now, but I'm a little bit busy.
Damn it!
I'll catch
This
up
is
with
the
you
moment
later.
you live and die by right here.
Question mark? Smiley face?
Map, I'd love to talk. Almost.
Came close.
Yahoo!
But Hey Man was turned into Map.
Yeah,
Even though
I think
paused
he
to think
probably
about what
started
to say
talking
next,
too quickly.
I didn't
after he
need to
hit the
press
button.
any buttons. So, remember how I said we focused on making the things you do all the time super easy and super simple and dead simple up front? Well, what's the one thing you do more than anything else with your phone? You unlock it. So why should you have to remember a password or a PIN? Your phone really should just recognize you. With Ice Cream Sandwich, we've invented a totally new approach to securing your device. We call it Face Unlock. And I think it's going to completely redefine the relationship we have with our phones.
That would
Using
have helped when my
state-of-the-art
phone was
facial
stolen.
recognition technology, Ice Cream Sandwich literally knows your face.
Oh, nice.
Let's see what happens when Anand
This is
tries
cool.
to unlock my phone. Nope, that's not going to happen. But when the phone sees me, oh, really? Are you going to be like that?
Oh, is the demo fail?
Oh.
Oh, no.
Come on. Well,
Oh,
doesn't
I guess
always.
this makeup was a little stronger than I expected.
Oh.
You had too much HD makeup.
I'll show it to you in the demos.
recovery.
But we really love it. We didn't
No.
stop
Yikes.
with the entire
Demo
system.
fail.
We paid the same level of attention to all of the Android apps that you know and love.
If it works,
To
that
show
could be
them
cool.
to you, I'd like to introduce
If they
Rivera,
can get that to work
Android's
on Xbox,
director
they
of
can get it to
product.
work on the phone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, at least it didn't recognize the other guy.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I have 3 things to talk to you about today. Core apps, photos, and people.
Okay.
Let's dive right in and start with core apps. And I'd like to show you a couple of features in the new Android browser.
It's too bad.
Let's go into the browser.
Ooh,
One of the
browser
first things we
sexiness.
did
Give it
was
to us.
redesign how you manage your browser tabs. You can do that now by clicking on this icon on the top here next to the address bar.
Oh, cool.
You go to the new tab browser. You can have
I
up
like
to
that. I like
16
that. That's
tabs
one of my
open.
complaints about it is going
You see a live
deep into the
preview
menu
and
to try to
easily
get to the
switch
various
between
tabs.
them, just like you saw
Yeah.
in multitasking. You can also close any tabs with that same flick gesture to just toss away pleasantly what you no longer need. Let's
Wow,
go
the
to that
browser's
tab. That's
actually
the New York
consistent with
Times
the OS
site.
now.
You
Shocking.
get the mobile optimized
Chrome.
site by default. But sometimes you really want the full experience, especially on a device with a beautiful large screen like Galaxy Nexus. In Ice Cream Sandwich, you
dolphin
can now check
t-shirt
a new
today.
option called Request Desktop Site.
Because I got it free from
And you'll get the real deal
the
desktop
the
version
browser
right away.
dolphin, yeah. I can't see it.
It looks great. Of course, with a desktop class browser like this one, you'll probably want access to your desktop bookmarks as well. No problem, because your bookmarks are now automatically synced with Chrome on your laptop, right over here, straight from your email.
Oh.
And say you want to take an article,
Like that.
perhaps like this one with you, in the subway. Ice Cream Sandwich now lets you save a page entirely for offline reading. Just tap on that option,
Yay.
Nice.
and you're done. It's
Very nice.
This feature is perfect for stuff like mobile boarding passes, concert tickets, or maybe a train schedule like this one. It's entirely saved
Or Instapaper
locally, no
has-
connection.
I was about to
Yeah.
say, I don't know if I need
We've
read
also
later.
added a number of new accessibility features, most visited pages, and incognito mode for private browsing on the Android browser, and a bunch of other things.
Wow,
So
incognito
is it
mode.
full
That's
Chrome
new Android
bookmark
browser.
sync? Or
That sounds like a
Now let's
desktop,
talk
yeah.
about Gmail. People love Gmail, and in Ice Cream Sandwich, we're making it even better. Our goal is to build simply the best mobile email experience you can find anywhere, period. Let's take a look at the new Gmail. Here's the redesigned Gmail inbox, now with 2-line previews to let you take a quick peek at your messages without actually having to open them. We've also added a new action bar at the bottom for one-click access to compose a message, search, and accessing your labels. This action bar, by the way, is a new design pattern in Android that puts your most common actions front and center. You'll see it across many apps in Ice Cream Sandwich here today.
Yeah.
So you can select multiple messages, let's pick maybe 3 of them here, and apply any of these actions at once. For example, I can just quickly archive them all at once. You get that beautiful animation.
Oh, wow, that toolbar changes.
Now,
based
why
on
don't we
what you
dive into an
selected.
email? This is one of the places where Roboto really shines, and you have to hold the device in your hand to be able to really experience it. The text is insanely crisp. It's a pleasure to read. And you'll notice here that the action bar changed based on the context. Since you're viewing a message, you now see buttons for archiving, deleting, and labeling, different from the ones you had earlier. It's also now a lot easier to navigate between messages in your inbox. Check this out. You can simply swipe like you do on your home screen.
Oh, look at that.
Same
I like
consistent
Cool.
gesture. Makes it really easy to quickly skim through your inbox.
Bug Droid Halloween
And it's
costume.
pleasant to use. Now, email is about communicating with people. Not email addresses, but people. And Gmail has evolved to reflect that. We transform email addresses
That looks
into
really
chips,
nice.
pictures and names. You can tap on any
I
of these
just opened
chips
up
to
Gmail
switch
on my
email
phone,
addresses,
just pretending
so you
like
can
I can
easily
do all
delete
of
the
this,
chip.
and I can't.
Just like that.
Wait, oh.
And finally, we're adding one of the most requested features to Gmail on Android, offline search.
Oh, yes.
By default,
Oh, wow.
you're now able to search the last 30 days of email instantly, whether you're connected or not.
Oh, thank
you.
you.
can change that time window.
I ran into that last week in New York.
Really?
The convention center had no coverage. I had to get my email to get a phone
Now let's
number.
take a
I had to
look
go
at the
outside
new
and-
calendar app.
That's great.
We've made it clean and simple
30 days
with the
is
goal
great.
of being extremely readable, making your calendar extremely readable, even when your schedule is really busy. Let's see, by the way, what my week looks like.
Oh, he's getting
Notice how you can go through the
and
calendar
yoga.
just as easily again with that
Jeez.
consistent swipe gesture. And let's look at my Friday. Well, that looks insanely busy. Maybe I could skip some of these meetings, but I can actually see all the details in this view, so I need to take a closer look. You can now pinch to zoom in to see more detail.
Yeah, I'll take his four-handed
Or you
lomi
can
lomi
zoom
massage.
out back again to see an overview of your day. It's really simple, and it's really,
That's
really
very
useful.
cool.
That's just a quick look at the new calendar app. There's more then. There's more there for you to see. We've also updated all of the other core Android apps. Gmail, that you just saw, YouTube, Maps, Google+, Music. We can't wait for you to see all of them. In addition to the
Plus
core
Music
Android
is
apps,
core
of course,
apps.
there are hundreds of thousands,
interesting.
literally, of other apps available for Android. And there's no denying that people are going to be using a lot of data. That's just a fact. So in Ice Cream Sandwich, we're doing two things. First, helping you understand your data usage. And second, giving you controls, simple, easy-to-use controls, to better manage it. Let's take a look. You can get into this through Settings by tapping on this new section called Data Usage.
Wow.
The first thing you see here is a chart of your overall data usage
Now
for
you
the
won't go
current
over
billing
anymore,
cycle
Ron.
Now you can know
with
when
a
you're gonna hit your
projection
limits,
of future usage based on your history. That's the dotted line that you see here to the end of the month.
I
Now, this is
wonder how
not
the
just a chart.
carriers-
You can use it to set
the
a
carriers
warning,
are like
so you
this?
know, for example, when you've
Can't you
crossed
check on-
a particular threshold.
to see how
That's
much
the orange
you've-
bar
Yeah.
Online.
controlling that warning.
I'm just
Maybe we
lazy.
set it to
Yeah, I'm too.
1.5
Oh, you
gigs.
can set a warning. That's
Yeah.
And you
I
can
like
even
the
go one step
projection
further
too.
and specify a limit for
It's nice to have that baked into the
automatically
phone
cutting
instead
all
of
mobile data
relying on your
by
carrier.
checking this
Exactly.
option
Yeah.
at the top.
Then there's
That's
no
the control
question.
we were talking about. It also helps to know what apps are using data on your phone. See that spike towards the end of the billing cycle there? Why don't we zoom in on that spike to find out more details? So I can select just that section and then scroll down to see the list of apps and how much data they used during that period.
Somebody had
There's
fun with Nerd
a top
Date.
app there which appears to be doing quite a bit of damage. I can drill in and see the breakdown of foreground and background data just for this app. And I can actually choose to cut off background data just for this app if I want, which means it will only use the mobile network when I explicitly launch it. So that's it. Transparency and control. It's the ice cream sandwich approach to mobile usage. Now let's switch gears to the second part. Let's talk about photos. In Ice Cream Sandwich, we've made it really easy to take photos, share, and have fun with them. We've also worked very closely with Samsung to deliver world-class camera performance on Galaxy Nexus. Now, as the saying goes, the best camera is the one you have with you right now. And when that's the camera in your phone, the last thing you need is to have to fumble around and miss that perfect photo opportunity. So with Ice Cream Sandwich, it's never been easier or faster to capture the action and share it in a matter of seconds. Let's take a look. So we're back to the lock screen. I can just drag to the left, and I'll be ready to snap a picture right away.
There you go, Jason. That was pretty fast.
Let's take a shot.
Not so
Once
convinced
you've captured
yet?
your masterpiece, sharing is just
Not
one
until
step
I use
away.
it myself.
You just tap on the photo,
Oh, look at
and
that.
you can
That's
share it
cool.
through any app on your phone that hooks into Android's open sharing APIs,
they've got
like
Flickr in
Gmail,
there.
Google+, Flickr, Twitter, and so on. Maybe here we can try with Google+.
That fixes the issue we talked about
So I'll
many
tap on
shows
that.
ago about
I'll
the
submit the
share
photo.
with menu extending off the screen.
Yep.
And you can't do anything about
And
it.
voila, it's on the web.
I like the new interface
Let me show you a
with
few
the clear
other cool
button
features in the
of
Ice
what
Cream
takes the
Sandwich
picture.
camera app.
How often do you see people with an Android phone
You
not be
can
able to
easily
tell someone
zoom
how to
in
take a photo?
using the slider control on the bottom that you see here.
Nice.
You can tap anywhere in the viewport to focus and auto-set exposure. And if there
really
are
happy
people
if
in
you
your
can
shot,
tap
the
on the
camera
screen to
detects
take a
faces and
photo,
automatically
you know,
focuses on them. Real people, of course. Also, taking pictures with Galaxy Nexus, as Kevin said earlier, is a real joy because the camera has zero shutter lag. Check it out. It's literally instant.
Okay,
You can take
love it.
multiple shots insanely fast. like that.
Love it. Did we just find your next phone?
Boom.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Come on, this is your next
really
phone.
important to me.
Yeah, I know.
This
That
has got to
right
be your
there is
next
very
phone.
important
Yeah.
to me.
We all love taking pictures. We really do. And sometimes we just want to make them perfect. In Ice Cream Sandwich, we've added a powerful set of photo editing tools so you can do just
People in the chat
that.
room are like begging
Let's
me
have
to
a
buy
look.
this phone.
Yes.
Probably because
We're
you
going to
guys are
tap on the
sick of
edit
hearing me saying I
option
don't have a phone.
on the menu over here. And then you can quickly touch up the photo, apply any number of hipster filters, maybe like this one. You can adjust the angle of the shot.
Did he just say hipster filters?
You can crop it.
He said
red eye,
extra.
and a whole bunch
Or
of
did he say
hipster.
hipster?
Yeah,
Did he really? Oh my
Always
gosh.
go back to the original.
Instagram.
If it turns out
That's
so.
hilarious.
And from here, of course, you can also just share it with just one
He's
more
talking
tap.
to you,
Any app
Eileen.
on your phone.
Well, you know, my Samsung phone actually has
All
this,
the editing we
not
just
the
did
same
here
feature,
inside
but there
the
is
new
a
Android
program on
gallery
here
app.
that
Right.
has filters
Which
that came with the
redesigned
phone
completely
itself,
to
not
put even
an app that
more
I
focus
downloaded.
on
So,
the
but this is
actual
nice.
photos.
He is talking to
Let's
me.
go back.
And my hipster filters.
Now look at this slick magazine style layout. Exactly what
that.
Matthias
That's
was
very
talking about
Windowsy.
earlier. You
It
can see
is.
how
It
gorgeous
is,
these
yeah.
photos look.
Yep.
You can see them automatically organized, not just by albums as you're seeing here, but also by location using geotags.
Oh, that's
Or
interesting.
by the people that you've tagged in your photos. Lots of familiar faces here. Maybe we can check out that Hiroshi photo. Ah, that's a good one. The new gallery app looks really,
What?
really
I don't even know.
Was that last year's Halloween?
to the camera now and talk about a very new feature, a new way to take photos that we're introducing in Ice Cream Sandwich. Panorama. Let me show you how that works.
Oh, they had a pano.
Just touch the panorama icon on the bottom right, and then just tap the shutter.
I was wondering what
to
that
start.
icon was.
Let the tracker on the screen guide you. You can just make one smooth and continuous movement. It's really easy
Cool.
and a ton of fun. When you're done, you'll see a quick preview while the software stitches together the full panorama in higher quality. And let's see, it's done. Here's the final result.
That's pretty cool.
That's
It
very
looks
cool.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Easy panoramic mode. That's
Some phones, actually, some Motorola phones have this.
Yeah, a lot of
Already.
By the
these
way,
a lot of
if you
the
use Google
overlay,
Plus,
yeah,
you
the
can turn
manufacturer
on
made camera apps do this.
instant
now.
upload.
But it's still cool.
Every photo you take, including panoramas, will be automatically synced and saved to the cloud right away. Super, super practical. Now, let's talk about video. The Galaxy Nexus is capable of beautiful 1080p video recording, and we've added a couple of cool video features to the camera app. Continuous focus, zoom while recording, time-lapse support, and video snapshots, which allow you to take high-resolution photos while recording a video by just tapping on the screen. Now here's a fun one. One of the Android engineers, his name is Homan Gi, decided to have some fun with his Galaxy Nexus camera. He actually rigged the phone to a stage 0 dolly and
This is
recorded
something
some pretty
Alex Lindsay
incredible
would like to know
sunset
about.
videos. We're going to play you a quick clip. The actual video content in this clip is completely unedited.
called
The frames
camera
are just what came out of the phone.
I think it is. It can't.
So this is a shot taken in Rockaway Beach near San Francisco. It was filmed over a couple of minutes
Oh, that's
Wow.
with a very short time-lapse interval of 2.5 seconds.
That's gorgeous.
that looks really good.
This one is just a straight video shot with a warmer manual white balance, which is set to reproduce the feel of a warm California sunset. It looks absolutely gorgeous. And this one is a great example of a time-lapse video. It was shot over 10 minutes, and because the sun had just set, there was very little light left, which should have been a tricky shot, but the Galaxy Nexus camera handled it just fine.
That's pretty cool.
These
Nice.
videos look really awesome.
But the question is whether or not my video will look like that.
So,
right?
Come on, Ron.
Right?
This is point and shoot. Come on.
now let's talk about the third section. Let's talk about people.
It won't.
We all use our
That's the
phones
problem.
to
It
connect
won't.
and share with the people around us. And we've put people at the heart of Ice Cream Sandwich. We focus on improving and sometimes even reinventing communications and sharing on a mobile device. And it starts with the new People app. The People app is an evolution of Contacts, and it has a beautiful, bright, new look. Starting here in the center tab, it has all of my contacts, and you notice on the top, there's a me profile. After all, this is my phone, and it should know who I am. So So that's me. From here, you can swipe to the tab on the right, and you can see all of my favorite and most contacted people presented to you in this gorgeous photo grid. This is another great example of that magazine-style UI that Matthias was talking about. Well, let's tap on Matthias and go to his people card. It has a great high-resolution photo at the top, followed by all of his contact details.
Social integration.
And you can see here how I'm connected to Matthias. In this case, via Google+, Twitter, and LinkedIn. If you tap on any of these, by the way, you jump straight into his profile in that particular app. What's really cool is that the contact details that you see here are actually pulled from all of these services and aggregated on the phone, which means that when Matthias updates them, I automatically get everything. And if you swipe right, if you swipe to the right inside of the people card, you'll see some of Matthias's recent updates aggregated from these networks as well.
Interesting.
I don't know how
That's
often
the
I'd
people
use
app.
that, but
It's
it looks
not
nice.
just a database of names and numbers.
The Windows
it's a
Phone
live window
contacts view. I mean,
into
I
your
haven't
social
really
world.
played around with it.
All of this is
Visually,
made
that's all
possible
I've
by
seen.
open
Yeah, a
APIs
lot of
that we've
people in the
updated
chat
in
room
Ice
are
Cream
saying
Sandwich
it's
so that
a
any
rip-off,
social
yeah,
network,
but-
any
And it
communications
looks very
platform
Windows Phone.
can easily
Very
touch.
Windowsy.
But
the
I don't-
squares.
from a general term, or
Putting people at the
exactly
heart of Ice Cream
in their
Sandwich
contact
also
center.
means making sure that your people, your peeps,
Notice
are
that
always
Twitter,
a few taps
LinkedIn,
away.
no Facebook.
Now, if I'm here in Gmail, I'll open that message from Matthias. If I tap on his photo on the top of the email, I get a quick contact card,
That's cool.
as we call it, which shows all of the different ways to connect with him. So, for example, I could continue this email conversation via SMS or Google Talk directly from here. Quick Contacts is completely open to developers, so any app can easily plug in here, and you can see some of them already.
650.
As Matthias showed you earlier, you can also add people directly to your home screen, give them maximum privilege, and even place them in folders like you see here. Here, I've added a direct dial shortcut to Matthias, so I can actually call him directly from my home screen with just one tap. Let's give him a call. As I'm calling Matthias, or when he's calling me, of course, I'll see this awesome high-resolution profile photo, which takes almost the entire screen, and it looks insanely good.
That's cool.
Now, since we've conveniently landed back here in the new phone app, let me show you around for a bit. So in the new phone app, I can swipe right, and I'll see my favorites. In fact, the same ones that you saw earlier in the People
I
app,
never
except
thought the phone
if I
app was
touch them
lacking
here,
until
it
I
will
see
call
this
them
all
right away
this.
because
And I'm
I
like,
am
oh, wow,
in the
this is
People
way
app.
better. Like, it's kind of
In
pointing
Ice Cream
out all the
Sandwich, we're
things of the
introducing
phone
new
fall short.
open APIs for integrating visual voicemail
Thank you,
directly
Tyler.
into the call log where they really belong.
Jeez.
For example, you can see here my Google Voice voicemails are right alongside my recent calls, and I can just tap and play a voicemail instantly. Why don't you go ahead and tap?
Oh, that's
Oh, I like the way that looks.
Very nice.
Just bring the volume up.
that's really good.
And we've done something about those long-winded
Seamless
voicemails.
Google
You
Voice
can
integration.
now speed up. Can we just bring the volume up? Or you can speed up or slow down playback in real time, which makes it really easy, of course, to get through that long message that Anand left me last night straight off his flight.
Nice. Skip it.
So, yeah.
Now,
I have some family members I'm going
what
to use
about
this
when
on a
someone
lot.
Oh, yeah. I have some friends,
Hiroshi
too.
has a really terrible sense of timing. But instead of declining his call, I can now respond by sending. Maybe you can try that again. Oh, sorry. So instead of declining his call, I swiped up, and I can send him a quick text message. It's okay. We'll do that later. This feature is called quick response. Instead of declining his call, he doesn't really know what's going
Swipe
on.
up.
I send him a quick text message. It's a pre-canned message
Well, that's
that I've
cool. So you
selected.
can
I can
stack the
personalize them
call
however
and
I
send a
want.
text message
Yeah.
automatically because I always do that.
Yeah.
Can't talk,
Perhaps a
recording.
little bit less arrogant.
Yeah.
All about Android.
So that was quick response, and it's just another cool way.
That's
to
a cool interaction. I like that.
interact with people.
I'll
They're
use that a
calling.
lot.
The last thing we want to show you today is a brand new approach to sharing using NFC technology. It's a new feature called Android Beam. Android Beam makes it easy to share pretty much any content between Android devices in a simple, secure, and totally intuitive way. Let me show you how to beam.
You mean like bump?
So Anand is right next to me here. And if we go to the camera, And he's reading an article that he wants to share with me.
Oh, okay.
He's going to do that using Android Beam. To do that, we just touch our phones together.
Like we did with
and the
Double
article
Twist
is beamed across. It's
Google
literally
I/O.
instantaneous. It's just loading it off the web now.
What if you don't want to do
I know. What if I accidentally
And there's
bump
the
you?
article.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
no,
Yeah.
I don't want this contact.
It's great. Thank you.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Why don't we take a look at another example? Anna, why don't we go into Google Maps? So Anand is showing me here a map of this toy store on Nathan Road here in Hong Kong that he wants to check out later today.
It's a lot of traffic.
To transfer that map directly to my phone, again, he can just touch the two devices
Oh, that would be
and then beam it right over to me.
So you have to confirm it. Thankfully.
Okay.
And there you go.
Okay,
This is
good.
my phone. Out of the box, in Ice Cream Sandwich, you can share YouTube videos, people cards, and a bunch of other things. Let me show you one last example where Android Beam is really, really useful. Anand has been playing, and telling me, in fact, about this game that he's got. It's called Minecraft. And it's a pretty cool game. And I don't have it on my phone yet, but I'd really, really love to get it. Of course, I could just go to Android Market and search for it, but there's an easier and much cooler way to do that. Let's see what happens when we touch our phones together while he's got the game running on his device.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Oh, and it shows up.
Android Beam takes me directly to the Android Market page for Minecraft.
So when we do our arenas here,
straight from there, just with one touch.
Oh, I like that. Boom.
Yeah, that's cool.
Android Beam is a new way of starting almost any type of proximity-based interactions. You'll be able to use it to set up a multiplayer game, to share photos, to join a group chat, and I'm sure to do thousands of other things that we haven't even thought of. We're shipping APIs for Android Beam in Ice Cream Sandwich, and we're really looking forward to seeing what developers will do with this technology. So that was a preview of Ice Cream Sandwich. Galaxy Nexus is the first Android device that's featuring Ice Cream Sandwich, and it will ship worldwide starting in November.
Starting in November.
We're making the SDK available for everyone starting today.
I'm never getting a new phone.
In fact, it's available
SDK
right now
today.
at developer.android.com or just go to android.com. The SDK has everything you need to start building apps using the new Android Ice Cream Sandwich APIs.
No other apps?
And a UI toolkit that allows you to write apps for
Not necessarily
phones
done yet.
and
Maybe
tablets.
there's an Andy announcement.
So we're really looking forward to seeing what you're going to come back and do with Ice Cream Sandwich.
Now your
With
music
that, I want to thank you and invite Kim back on stage. Thank you, guys.
See? Not over yet.
Waiting for developer.android.com.
Yeah, right. Right.
Oh,
Thank you,
wow.
Hugo.
The server encountered an error.
Thank you,
Could not complete
Matthias.
the request.
Thank you, Kevin, and thank you to
Getting hammered.
Andy and to JK for unveiling the product earlier. Most of all, thank you for all of you who came here today. We have demo devices out in the auditorium, or the area outside, rather, so that you can get your hands on the devices, get videos and photographs. And again, thank you all for being here.
Yay.
Wow, I guess that's it.
That's it?
Hold
Man,
on.
that was
let's-
an
wait.
abrupt
Are we
ending.
sure? Are we
yeah,
sure?
look at it. Yeah, now they're all.
Oh, I keep waiting for something.
If they planned anything after this point, I think they were kind of failing a little bit.
Wow.
Everybody's leaving.
Yeah, they're all leaving to go to the demo room that we would have been able to go to, Gina, if they had still done this in San Diego. Wow. Well, I guess that's the announcement. How does everybody feeling so far about what they've seen about the phone and about Ice Cream Sandwich? Gina, go first.
I have to say, I was kind of tempted by the iPhone 4S last week, as much as I didn't really say it on Twig. But now I'm feeling the Android love again. I'm pretty excited about this. I'm excited about the little things. You know, that typeface, I thought it was kind of weak that they let off with a typeface. I was like, why are we looking at a font? But it turned out that in the demos of the Google Core apps, it looked really nice. Yeah. And I can see that I like the emphasis on pictures of people's faces, and that typeface is really nice. And I like the magazine layout. Yeah, I like that the widgets can scroll. It just seems like a lot of little things that have improved that I really like. Well, that screen capture is huge too. Yes. I mean,
that was
not to the normal people, but to us who writing. It's just gonna be huge for Android PR. It's gonna be so much easier to take a screenshot and share it. I think one thing to remember is that these ice cream sandwich things, like the action bar and fragments and that kind of thing, that's honeycomb kind of like developers have to work on that in their apps to implement that. So we're going to see that in the core apps, but we're not going to see that in sort of the other apps, I think, for a while until developers have a chance to catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed. I mean, like you said, it was weird that they started with typeface, but it really felt like they were, emphasizing design, which is what Apple does. They emphasize design so well, and they're coming back and saying, well, we've upgraded.
And that applies to, I mean, that's common with the Google approach, which is that, like we're going to get it functional, we're going to build a base to build on. It might be a little kludgy in the interface stuff. We're going to learn how people use it. We're going to do some testing. And now here's a well-designed, we're seeing it happen with the apps on the web. We saw it happen with Maps. We saw it happen with other various applications. And it's great to see them kind of really addressing the prettiness of the phone OS, because I think that's a huge selling point. I think the fact that people pick up an Android phone and they're a little scared off by it, big pictures, big buttons, making it really easy to use can make it more accessible to a wider audience.
Well, yeah, and that's what they're trying to do. After 4 million 4S's were sold over the weekend, there's a little bit of catch up there,
there's a humility there, I think. I mean, I was surprised that they said, people like Android, they need Android, but they don't love Android.
I know they just came out with that.
That was a big admission. I was surprised that they said that. That's odd to hear something like that at a product announcement. So, but I like that sense of humility and that, like, hey, we know we need to do better, and these are all the things we did to make it better. And I think they made a strong case.
Yeah, going back to what you said about the font at the top, I mean, it did seem kind of silly that they would kind of lead with that. But when you think about Ice Cream Sandwich as being just an entire platform kind of UI overhaul, it kind of all starts there, in a roundabout sort of way. It almost explains and, it has its influence throughout the rest of the things that they did there. So it almost makes sense to start there. I think personally, I think the improvements that they made go a long way to kind of fixing a little bit of that kind of what you see in current, Android instances, where it's just kind of like, it does all these cool things, and it's okay, but it's not, like you said, it's not pretty. It's not like you pull it out and you really want to interact with it, and because it just draws you in, because the look of it draws you in. That's something that I actually do get from Honeycomb. I don't use it so much because it's on a tablet is the thing. I just don't have as much of a use for a tablet. But the UI itself is very inviting to me, and I think they kind of integrated those touches into this Ice Cream Sandwich version very well.
And so now the question is, with a phone device, the device that you're using on a minute-by-minute basis on a daily basis, is the UI going to get in the way? I mean, that's really what I'm looking at for. Okay, great, I've got big photos of my friends, and I see who's calling and things like that, but can I quickly jump between apps? Can I quickly post to Twitter? Can I quickly post to Google+? Can I quickly get to my email? Can I quickly make a call, make a text message, etc.? As long as they're able to balance the prettiness with the functionality, with the usability of the UI, then they'll have something. I mean, which I won't know.
Just don't try to unlock with your face.
Yeah, apparently.
Yes, apparently. Okay, so a couple demo fails with the face unlock and what was the other thing?
The response by text.
That's unfortunate for everyone.
And the response by text, I think he bailed earlier. I think they could have done it one more time.
Right.
He's like, we'll do that later. It's like, I mean, you got to, when they're on stage in front of everybody, it gets nerve-wracking. But
I'm sure.
The unlock by face, though, that was a little disappointing. I wanted to see that work.
I wanted to see that too.
But like we said, if Xbox has that facial recognition, I'm sure it works. Yeah. It's not like they didn't get a blue screen of death. So
if unlock with your face works, I imagine it's going to be an optional thing. But if it works, do you see it being the kind of thing that you three would use on a daily basis? Like, would you opt to use it?
Only if it was fast enough. I actually don't have a lock pattern on my phone because I'm lazy and I don't want to have to do it every time I look at my phone. If if I can just look at my phone and it responds, it unlocks within a second, then I do it. If I'm gonna have to, stand there with my phone in front of my face for more than a second, I'm gonna lose patience and not do it.
It's got to be the right angle or the right lighting, which we saw by that.
And he's like walking, bouncing around.
Yeah, that's a pretty unfortunate feature to not have worked in that stage environment because it's not necessarily a feature that you really see in phones. So it really is about convincing people that, hey, this is a new feature that you can't get yet, and it works well, and this is a reason why you want Android is because of this feature. And when it doesn't work the first time they show it off, it's just really unfortunate. But hopefully it works better when you're not on a stage, or I don't know. Yeah. Maybe you need it to work on a stage. I don't
know. I'll try it. I'll play with it. I mean, I do have a connect the dot pattern because I think that I want some level of security. But again, it's going to be how. If it keeps me from getting in the phone, then I'm not using it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
No, I wouldn't either, for sure.
Camera.
There's your killer app, Jason, right?
That was really important to me. I have to say the camera performance is. I use my phone as a camera so much these days, and so it's got to be fast, and it's got to hopefully not have those little motion blur things. Which I mean, there's only so much you can do with the tiny little electronics in a camera phone, I guess. Right. But even if it's just fast, even if that part is fixed, then I think it goes a long way to addressing the things. And zero shutter speed. Anytime you hear zero, I just automatically go, yeah, right.
But you saw it. It
looked great. Yeah. Even if it wasn't zero, it was really, really fast. So.
Yeah, and I think some of the controls are improved. I think the panoramic thing is neat. I mean, I know that Sony cameras have it, and that they're not inventing the wheel here. A lot of this stuff isn't. That's what we're interesting. They're talking about it ripping off. Windows or ripping off, Launcher Pro. But I mean, that's how these products iterate. They look at what people are doing out there in the arena, and then
you gotta update.
Exactly.
You don't want it to just not do some of these really cool features that another phone has. Yep. You gotta update, or people are gonna go, well, I don't want this phone. I want the phone that does X.
I mean, hell, the iOS notification pane looks a lot like the Android notification pane.
They're all borrowing from each other,
exactly.
One way or another. Absolutely. So, I mean, along those lines, how do you guys feel about the kind of Windows Phone-ish kind of quality?
The contacts to people.
You were impressed with that banner with the photo. You liked that.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I like the way it looks. It looks
clean.
It looks kind of classy, and I kind of dug it.
Yeah, well,
Absolutely.
I go back to the comment I made during the stream, which is I didn't realize how much was lacking from the contacts in the phone and stuff until I saw it redesigned.
Well, that's what I was doing. I was like, I opened up my Gmail and I was going. I'm like, I can't. I'm trying to follow him step by step, and I just want it already. But.
Yeah, the fact is we're humans. We want to look at pictures of our friends. We want to look at other faces, and this seems to capitalize on that a lot. My Skype got a little messed up, so I think I missed a bit about the incoming call. You were saying, Ron, that if you got a call while you were on the air, you could respond without taking the call?
Basically, what they had was that if someone called you and you didn't want to take the call, you could say hang up, but then immediately send a text message to the person with some canned responses. So
gotcha.
So for example, quite often happens to me. I'm in a meeting, I get a call, I just say don't answer, and I send it to voicemail. You could say send a voicemail and then send a text message saying in a meeting.
All in
one swipe.
Just go
exactly. Yeah.
Deny.
Yeah. And that was the demo fail. That didn't happen. He was like, you just swipe up. He kept saying, you swipe up. Swipe. And I'm like,
and it kept
swipe up.
But that is something that's great for me because I try not to answer the phone at all.
Yeah.
And so and I can't tell you how many times I answer it. I sack it and then follow up with a text message saying, hey, driving, in a meeting, recording a show, yada yada. So.
Yep.
Android Beam. Anybody?
How many of you who actually bumps here on a regular?
I don't.
No.
Nobody does.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know anybody that does.
And I missed whether it was precisely built around NFC. He
never
opened
said
it with the whole NFC, but then he said Beam, and I wasn't sure if that was. Is it beaming via NFC?
How else could it be? It's got to be NFC. I got the impression that it was NFC based. Okay. I thought he said that as well, but I couldn't.
So there you're already, automatically at this point up against the fact that not many people have NFC in their phones.
Yeah.
Well, when we all have Nexus, whatever the phone's called, Galaxy Nexus.
We're all getting the Galaxy Nexus.
The name I'm going to have the biggest problem with. That's the thing. I want it to be Nexus Galaxy instead of. But when we both have it, then we'll be able to bump. And that's the idea: is that this is a forward-thinking application, a forward-thinking for the NFC devices. So, right. Yeah.
What did we think about just the overall presentation with enchantment? And I wrote all this down. Android is enchanting, and the whole thing was the next generation Samsung phone wants the user to feel good, wants to go beyond smart. How do you think they did overall with the presentation this time around?
It was an interesting follow-up to Siri, right? I mean, when they did that whole thing about does a machine have a soul, and you want to feel like your phone is smart enough to interact, that way. I kept thinking about Siri. I kept seeing a lot of sort of Apple and Microsoft even influence here. I mean, and like you all said, they all sort of borrow from one another. But I think they did a pretty good job with that.
Yeah, I was glad to see it again, saying that they're iterating what they're doing, and they're thinking about, they're asking the kind of questions that we thought they weren't asking about Android, where they were just building a mobile OS that could do a bunch of cool stuff, and now they're worrying about, okay, what is the people connection to it like? And yes, it's a little hokey to be like, it's enchanting and it has a soul, and can a phone have a soul, and do androids dream of electric sheep, and and like things like that. But that's the thing, is that like we've been doing the show for a while now. Whenever we talk, we always get up against the Apple versus Android kind of thing, and I always say, listen, iOS has the sexy factor, and that's in the same category. It's the same arena as soul and enchanting and stuff like that. And if they want Android to get sexier, that's a good decision.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think obviously just on the OS in general, they're certainly attempting to kind of tackle that aspect. What I'm trying to figure out right now is it sexy, quote in quotes, is it sexy to me because it actually is, or because it's new? You know what I mean? Because it's different than what I'm used to. And I guess that will kind of be answered once we all have Ice Cream Sandwich and we work with it on a daily basis and kind of see how, the long tail.
And we'll never know when that is. Sometime in November.
I mean, right. So sometime in November to get the Galaxy Nexus phone, the first phone with Ice Cream Sandwich. When do other phones get it?
Right, exactly. When do other phones get it? When will the Galaxy Nexus be available? What carriers? What's the whole? I mean, I'm ready.
We didn't get any of that information.
And which I get, because they're in Hong Kong. It's a Samsung. Like it's kind of thing. They're going to follow. They need to follow that stuff up like this week or next week.
We're going to hear about
the rollouts. But I mean, during the presentation, I was writing on Twitter to friends of mine. Well, Best Buy first thing morning. I'm really considering it. Like this pretty much sold me. Between the thickness of the phone, the big screen. That's the only thing that's got me on edge. I'm not, I like the smaller size screen. I'm not sure if I want the bigger screen, but Ice Cream Sandwich has me converted. The NFC stuff has me really interested. The camera has me really interested. If it's the right price and it's available on my carrier, I might pull the trigger.
Yeah.
I know you will, though, Jason, because of the camera.
You better.
I'm forcing you to. We're making you make a decision.
This is immune to
I have to imagine that there's some phones at the turn of the year that are going to be pretty amazing. No, there's no reason for me not to go with this phone. I think at this point, yes, I'm long overdue, and it would be ridiculous.
This blows the vigor out of the water.
Oh, come on.
Now, if only Casio will come out with one of those rugged phones using Ice Cream Sandwich, then I would recommend that for you. I missed that phone. Okay. Did anyone ever buy that phone?
I don't think anybody ever bought that phone. Yeah. Any other final thoughts? I know we lost you there, Gina. We've just been razzing Jason about whether or not he's going to get this phone, and we think he should.
Yeah. So Gina, I actually asked earlier, and I think you had disconnected at one point. What phone do you have now, and is this enough to kind of make you switch?
I have the Nexus S, which is a great phone, and it's very update and very cool. I'm fascinated by sort of the iterations of Android. I've always I've had a Nexus 1, I had a Nexus S, and I like the true Google phones that come out with the first, the first phones that come out with the newest versions of Android. So I'm very, very tempted by this phone. That said, I don't know if I can keep afford buying keep buying these phones.
Exactly.
So I'm super, super tempted. And like I said, I was really tempted by the iPhone 4S. I was like, wow, it's a last jobs phone, and Siri sounds really cool, and notifications finally got fixed. But now I have to say, this is really tempting. So I very well may get this phone.
Don't abandon us, Gina. Stay with us, please. You're one of us.
One of us.
We don't want to lose you. Come, stay.
And just to point out, yes, this is an LTE phone. We got a couple questions in the chat room.
Yeah, well, LTE and
HSPA Plus.
Yeah.
So,
which kind of answers the suspicions early on, which was that it was going to, at least in the U.S., be Verizon exclusive. It doesn't sound like it will be.
No.
But that's literally, that's all we know. Right. LTE and HSPA Plus, so it'll be available in lots of places sometime in November. That's what we know.
Yeah. So it looks like it's saying Next will be available on Verizon November 10th, according to Engadget. Somebody in the chat room said.
Okay.
Yeah, that date is floating around for the Galaxy Nexus. It's also floating around for the Motorola Razr and potentially the HTC Resound, which hasn't even been announced yet.
I can't keep up with all these phones.
Which is the bigger.
Exciting your holiday dollars.
Exactly.
No, I mean, just as a Verizon customer, this is like the best time in the world to be a Verizon customer and an Android fan. You've got so much choice coming up into the holidays. But thankfully, at least this phone is going to be available. To
Android.com has been updated now with information about Ice Cream Sandwich, as well as a link to the Galaxy Nexus.
Let's pull that up.
Yeah.
There's like a little video, Chad.
Yeah, go to Android.com.
Okay.
And there's a video on the homepage there. Maybe it's the same one that we saw. I don't think we saw this video.
I don't remember seeing this morphed face thing.
Let's play it before we close out.
Oh, we did not see this.
Wow.
This is awesome already. It's
Full
like
screen.
Tron.
Oh my God, it is Tron.
Oh, nice.
Oh, why didn't they show this?
That's awesome.
You can tell it's good when we all go quiet.
I really like that, by the way. That swipe to remove individual items.
For notifications, too, so you could keep some of those notifications.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They're really pushing the speed angle. That's really interesting. Let's face unlock.
Okay, here's how it looks when it works. Oh.
That's just how it captures. Google Plus with Hangouts.
So yeah, there were some device or app leaks ahead of this announcement. Google Plus was one of them that the APK leaked, and it had some definite visual enhancements. Google Music actually leaked as well, and it was a very overhauled, redesigned UI, which is why I was really surprised that they didn't show it.
Did they show this?
No, they didn't show these.
No, they didn't.
Live effects? Yeah.
Well, that makes the camera way more pointless.
They show the panorama, right?
The panorama was cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, to have it native, that's cool. I dig it.
And to see that preview, I mean, you kind of have to wait for it to stitch, but at least you get to look at something while it does.
Yeah, here's the quick responses.
There
so
you go.
Swipe up and then
Swipe
pick your
up.
response. Yeah.
Like
nice.
Data usage monitoring. That's
I like that. I think that's cool.
Charts. Who doesn't want charts?
I love
charts and
charts,
maps. That's all I need in life.
And YouTube. Android Beam. Okay, so beam the video to someone else. There we go.
Yeah, we'll see how useful that ends up.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't close out with this.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, man. I'm in.
That made it more fun, actually.
Oh, look at
Yeah.
If you go to google.com/Nexus, there's a whole breakdown of the Galaxy Nexus with the largest registration text box I've ever seen in my life. So there you go.
All right.
I believe there was an ad that I was supposed to read at some point.
That's all right. I can read it. Just FYI, this is TWiT Live's breaking news coverage, or this was, of the Google Samsung announcement brought to you by Slingbox. Now with Slingbox, you can watch your home TV on your iPad and Honeycomb tablets and Android phone anywhere you go. Slingbox works with your iPad, your Honeycomb tablet, and your Android phone. Any smartphone or laptop. To get started with Slingbox, just connect it to the internet and to your home TV. Then anywhere you can get an internet signal, you can watch your home TV. It's that easy. I've used it on vacation. It really does work. Slingbox is available at Best Buy and Amazon. You can learn more at slingbox.com. We like to thank Slingbox for their support of this breaking news coverage, and also slingbox.com/twit. All right, guys. I guess that does it for our live breaking news coverage. Did we miss anything?
Real quickly, there's a post on Google Plus from the guy who did the rig, the time lapse rig. Romain guy.
Romain guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a long URL. Let me see if I can short URL it. But yeah, it seems pretty cool.
You got it, Jason?
Yeah.
Okay, so do we have enough inputs to show this?
Props to AugieDB on Twitter who pointed that out to me. Thank you, Augie.
Do you have Jason's lap? Do we have enough inputs for this?
Yeah. It's
okay. Well, we'll just. It's on Google Plus. Romain guy.
Well, here we go. If you guys want a short URL,
throw it in there.
Go to ifn.by. /NXOWRR. So.
We do a lot of these actually here at the cottage, right?
Yeah.
Brent By does this a lot.
Yeah. What was the URL?
Oh, I just put it in the chat, in the document chat, Chad.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go. Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Very cool. Well, Gina, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me. Sorry about the Skype trouble, but great to be here. This was really cool. I'm excited about the ice cream sandwich. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And I'm sure you, Leo, Jeff Jarvis, and also we're going to have Peter Rojas on Twig tomorrow. I'm sure you guys are going to break that down at the top of the show as my big guest. I'm sure Leo's going to be really excited to talk about this. So tomorrow we'll see Gina back for This Week in Google. You can also find her on smarterware.org. ThinkUp app, and also developer of To-Do.Text.
And if you go to Wikipedia and type in awesome, there's a picture of Gina right next to it.
Aww. Wow. I'll pay you for that later, Jason.
Just the facts.
Aww.
All right, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks again for having me.
You bet. Thank you.
And thank you for watching this breaking news coverage.
All About Android is up immediately after. If you're watching live, stick around. If not, go to twit.tv/AAA and check out All About Android. We're going to talk a lot about this, the Motorola Razr, and a whole bunch more. So check it out. That's it. Bye.